Question. Remember that time back in the 50s when Godzilla attacked the train? Oh yeah, it's time to get real serious. One word, masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? What? Yeah. Y'all ready to play some football? Just let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to.
What's going on, people? LP2000 right back at you with another figure review, and today I'm doing the X Plus 30cm Godzilla 1954 Train Gripper or Train Biter edition. As you can see, I got the awesome masterpiece of a figure right here, as well as the box here. You know how we do things around here, so let's get into the box before we get into the masterpiece. So put this down here. Okay, this is the box. You know, it's just typical. I mean, it's kind of like the Gigantic series. I did say typical. I didn't mean to say that because it doesn't have the colorful artwork like the normal 30cm boxes have. But it has the silhouette of the figure right here. 30cm Godzilla 1954 Train Biter or Train Gripper version. I'm not really too sure, but I kind of think, but I kind of believe that that's what it means. X Plus Garage toy. It really is a nice silhouette of the figure. Nice artwork. I'm normally not a fan of it, but since it has more of a Gigantic series feel, since you know this, since y'all know I do like the Gigantic series just a little bit. I do like the box a little bit, so yeah, I may not trash it, but then again, you never know. But hey, I do enjoy the box. There's a legal jargon on the back. That's it. Holla at you. Now let's get into the figure. Woo! Once again, masterpiece. And just let me preface this by saying this, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear that word a lot during this video because this is exactly what this figure is. It's a masterpiece. Backstory about this figure, I believe it was announced, I think, in January. I think it was going to be released through a certain Ripboy site. I think D. Augustini. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. I believe it's how you pronounce it. But X Plus made a decision to have this be released through other retailers as well as through the Ripboy site. This is the standard. The Ripboy came with a base to put underneath Godzilla here, like he's trashing like a bridge or something. But I'm fine with the standard. So it was made available to like Ami and Hobby Search, whatever. And like a week later, after they announced that they were going to be releasing this to the retailers, they announced that a Gigantic series Godzilla 1954 was going to be coming out. So I really didn't pay much attention about wanting to get this figure because my mind was set on the Gigantic series. Because, you know, that's how I roll. However, you know, after just knowing more about this figure and seeing more pictures of it, I decided to take a chance and just pull the trigger and pre-order it. And once I got it, it was really, it really has exceeded all my expectations. I actually gave it to my wife, you know, because she likes the intimidating Godzilla look, you know, like the GMK and other Godzilla figures. So I just gave it to her. But this is really is a wonderful piece, and I'm glad I got it. You know, like at first I wasn't feeling it, you know what I'm saying, because I already got the Diamond Ray issue Godzilla 54, and like I mentioned before, with the Gigantic Series 54 that was supposedly coming out, of course they switched that recently for the better. I thought they was going to be releasing the Godzilla 54 in the Gigantic series, so I was more focused on that, and not really giving this figure kind of a chance for me to want to collect it. But I'm glad I changed my mind because this really is a cool piece. They really did an outstanding job. X Plus did an outstanding job with this piece. It was based off a kit. I don't remember the name of the kit or whatever, but it's based off a kit. But other than that, it's a great piece. Really is a great piece. So let's get up and close and personal with this masterpiece. Like I said, you're gonna hear that word a lot during the course of this video, so let's go with it. All right, let's roll. Okay, folks, here we are. up close and personal with the Godzilla 1954 30 centimeter train biter or train gripper. You know what? Let me just train biter just don't sound right to me. So I'll just say train gripper. I'm gonna try and just use that terminology through the rest of the video. But this really is a great piece. Really is a great piece. As you can see here, the face is really amazing. Hopefully, we're getting the focus here. Matter of fact, I'll say that for last. But overall presentation of the figure is really nice. It's kind of stylized, really. I think the only 30 centimeter figure to be stylized. Of course, some may argue that certain figures of the 30 centimeter is kind of stylized just a little bit, like the Godzilla 1992 or the Godzilla 1989 or whatever. But this really is stylized. I do like the texture of the skin here. Rugged texture, kind of like the Gigantic series, the GMK, for example. The rugged texture of the skin is really nice. The overall paint scheme is just like what you saw on film, the monochrome black and white. You have some highlights here all over the figure to give the figure more exuberance, to give it more life. Really is great. The toes, very sharp. Kind of like the GMK. I mean, you do see similarities of the GMK Godzilla in this figure, which I thoroughly enjoy. And I really do like how the paint scheme on the toes is really nice. With the kind of like a grayish color, like a dark grayish color, with the blackness going towards the base of the foot here. The legs here are really nice. Just not really, not overly thick thighs, but you know, it does have some pronounced definition into the legs here. Claws, very sharp. As you can see here, hopefully going to focus here, you know, he got his hand here is gripping the train. And he's gripping with so much force that it's crushing it. Obviously, Godzilla is super strong. So, of course, he's not going to, you know, I mean, of course, he's going to pick up a train and crush it. I really do like that. I really do like the definition right here in, like, if you can get it, hopefully it'll be in focus here. But look at that. Yeah, there you go. It just shows the sheer power that Godzilla has by him gripping the train and just crushing it just like this. Really is nice. And then you have the rest of the train that goes up to his mouth here. The teeth, very nice. Sculpted, very nice. They're very sharp, very menacing. And like I said, when it came down to the him crushing this part of the train here, obviously his jaws are even more powerful by the fact he's crushing the entire train in his mouth or whatever. There's actually a production photo of this Godzilla figure. Not Godzilla figure. It's a production photo of Godzilla. Him gripping the train just like this. So it's not only based off a kit, it's also based off of a production still of the movie. Of course, Godzilla did attack a train in the film, but if you remember, he only had one car in his mouth. He didn't have a network of cars in his mouth. It's not like the train car was in his mouth and it was connecting with the rest of the train here. He just had one. So it does stretch it just a little bit, but it does, remind you of the scene in the original 54 Godzilla, where it's the Japanese version and the US version. Dorsal plates looking really nice. As you can see with the size comparison, I'm going to bring up the Diamond issue Godzilla 54 in a few seconds. And so you can see the similarities of the dorsal plates. I like this because it does have the dorsal plate look of the suit. Now, mind you, this Godzilla 54 right here reminds me more of the puppet that they use in the film for Godzilla's facial expressions or whatever. The only problem with that is the fact that the puppet didn't really look like the suit. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really look like the face of the suit. Now, mind you, you have to understand this was the first movie of its kind back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there were other science fiction movies like, the original King Kong, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and whatever, which basically it was inspiration for the original 54 Godzilla, or Godzilla in general. It's the fact that it's it's really stylized, and like I said, and the differentiation between the puppet and the suit was, it was very, very different. I think the fact that the movie is black and white, and the majority of the scenes that we saw Godzilla with at nighttime kind of like hid the fact that the puppet didn't look that much like the suit, which worked to the film's advantage. I think if the film had been filmed like in daytime, more daytime footage, and if we saw more up close of the suit as well as the puppet here, I mean, of course, casual viewers are not going to really make the connection, but hardcore fans will. So I think it went to the film's advantage. But like I mentioned, back to the dorsal plates, it's a variation of the 54 suits dorsal plates, which I really do enjoy that they incorporated that on this figure. Tail sculpted well done. The paint scheme on the dorsal plates that goes onto the tail to the tip, very, 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 very nice. This really is an awesome presentation here. I don't think it's the first Godzilla to have something like this that recreated from a movie. I think the Godzilla 1971, the regular standard had like the eggs, from when he pulled them out of Hedra. So this is not exactly the first of its kind to have a Godzilla figure that has a prop that basically recreates a scene from the movie. But it's more elaborate because of the train here, and I think it works. It really, 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 really works. So I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got it for my wife. This really is a great piece on so many different levels. And I know the 54, he is basically a nightmarish version of Godzilla. That's what this suit represents to me, or at least what this figure represents to me. As a matter of fact, let's go with size comparison right now, and let's just and I'll dive more into my thoughts of the similarities and differences between the two. All right, let me grab the Diamond Ray issue Godzilla 54. Hang tight. Okay, folks, here we go with basically the first and only size comparison. Because Godzilla was in the film by himself, I don't want to drown the review with so many size comparisons because it wouldn't be right. Now, I probably could do it with the Angular's 1955, but I don't think it's necessary here. What's necessary is just these two right here. And as you can see, the Diamond Ray issue Godzilla 1954, as well as the train. What did I say earlier? I'm not. What was I say? I'm not going to use. Whatever. Train gripper, train biter, whatever. Whatever y'all want to use for your terminology, whatever. I'm just being funny here. But yes, these two look really, really great together. Now, of course, the 54 Diamond Ray issue got a little bit of size to him. He's bigger. He's bigger overall in height. I think the overall girth and everything is pretty much the same. I think they're both the same size, like with the tails and stuff like that. Before as height wise, the Diamond Ray issue got them. But I do like this size comparison, and I'm glad I got this figure now because it represents it represents two characterizations of Godzilla when it comes to this film. Like I said earlier, this figure kind of incorporates how the puppet look or whatever, and this is the suit. Obviously this is the suit, and like I said, with it being a black and white film, it kind of hides the fact that that this puppet didn't really look that much like the suit. Like I mentioned before, this was the first of its kind, and of course they were going to make mistakes, or at least there were going to be certain liberties that's going to be taken when it comes to making a film like this. So of course the puppet didn't look that much like the suit. As a matter of fact, the puppet looked more ferocious than actually the suit. And I think it's very appropriate of the fact that this figure being here or whatever, because it represents the first Godzilla attack in a civilized situation. You know what I'm saying? It represents the first attack. Which ironically, this was the first time that we actually saw the suit in action. Now, we partially saw the suit when he attacked Odo Island at night. If you look real closely, when he comes ashore, after the guy runs out of the house and then the other guy chases him, and then you see that lightning flash and the guy sees Godzilla and he turns around and the house starts to shake and you see a partial thigh that crushes the house. That was really the part of the suit. But the first time we actually really did saw the suit, the full suit, was the first attack right here. I think it's very appropriate, especially with the train here. That was the first attack where Godzilla did attack the train. Now, like I said earlier with the dorsal plates, let me just get them both around here. And as you can see, look, see, the train gripper's dorsal plates is a certain variation of the suits. And I like how X Plus really captured that. It captures both the puppet and the suit. And I really do enjoy that. I really, really do. And like I said earlier, I think that if you're a fan of the 54 film, like I mentioned before in other videos, I think the 54 should be represented in every Godzilla fans collection, because that's where it started from. You know what I'm saying? But now that I have these two together, this looks like Godzilla in the film, where he's, you know, he has a dinosaurian look, a prehistoric look. You know what I'm saying? Just a prehistoric mutant dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? Which basically that's what he is. But this Godzilla right here, he looks like a straight up monster. Like a straight up just destructive and just chaotic driven monster. He has a more of an evil look versus the suit of the 54. And I think that these figures both capture the essence and the characterization of Godzilla in this film. So I highly recommend you get both of them. The train gripper as well as the Damari issue. Because they both are really great pieces for different reasons, but they also have a common goal. You know, because they both represent a characterization of Godzilla in the film. You know, a nightmare, just a reawakened dinosaur coming to destroy the world. They just have such great importance, and they really have a great tie-in with each other. So yeah, so I highly recommend you do get these two pieces wherever you can. Get this one now if you can, because the price is going to be going up. You know what I'm saying. The 54 that you do see, the 54 diamond reissue, he does pop up every now and then, you know, whatever. But you know, I just think that they both complement each other, and really, in a way, you can't have one without the other one. If you can get both of them, get them. They're really worth it. But like I said, Dinosaur Avenger, just a straight up monster. And I like that. All right. So let me just go with my final thoughts of this figure as well as the film to a certain degree, and we'll wrap this review up. All right. Thank you. Let's go. Okay, folks, I'm back, and let me just finish this review up. My God, this really is an amazing piece, a masterpiece, if you will. I think that's like the 8th time I said that, but y'all get the idea. But Godzilla 1954, Godzilla King of the Monsters. I really do enjoy both versions, as I mentioned before. I think that the Godzilla King of the Monsters is really superior to the original one in certain areas. But I can't say, this is my opinion, folks, I can't really say that Godzilla King of the Monsters is inferior to the Japanese version, or the Japanese is inferior to King of the Monsters. To me, they're both on the same level for me. They both provide great entertainment from different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the Japanese version is really, really a serious, dark, serious interpretation of Godzilla in the movie. Godzilla King of the Monsters is kind of in a way a little bit more lighthearted, but it's still serious. It doesn't have the serious plot points that the Japanese film addresses, but I think they're both on the same level. For me, that's just my opinion. I know folks out there probably disagree with me, but that's just how I interpret both films. They both are awesome to me. They're both on the same level. As far as the figure is concerned, especially this figure, it just symbolizes, like I said, the first Godzilla attack in the film. And if you go back and watch the film, it really is like, it's an awesome scene. It's really kind of a disturbing and scary scene, you know what I'm saying? You know, where they sound the air raid sirens, and you hear Godzilla's footsteps like from a distance or whatever. Then he comes ashore. Then you see like the people running, like he's in the background. You see him running. You see the people running, trying to get away from him or whatever. Special effects were really, really great. Even in the 50s, this was really a really great scene. Then you see Godzilla attack a train, and then, you know, he picks up a bridge and slams it, and then all of a sudden he just turns around and walks away. You know what I'm saying? And I think that The message behind that scene, if there is one, is frightening. Mind you, Godzilla did not even use his fire. At that point, the world didn't know that Godzilla had atomic breath capabilities. You know, he just came in, destroyed some stuff for just a brief minute, and then he just, basically without reason, turns around and walks away. And to me, I think that's very, very frightening. The fact that this creature that is nearby, you know what I'm saying, that is near you. I mean, that scene really puts you in the shoes of the Japanese people or the people that was there during the attack. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you have this basically gigantic enraged demon that's not too far away from you that can just come in and destroy stuff and just without provocation, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it, at least at this point. The fact that Godzilla basically just imposes his will, his unrelenting will on these people, and just the fact that he can just do whatever he wants to do and just turn around and just at his whim. He can just come in and destroy stuff, destroy the city, destroy the world, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. I think that is a really, really, really scary thought. You know what I'm saying? That they drive home in this film. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the second attack, when he comes back the very next night or 2 nights later or whatever, the second attack is more elaborate. There's more destruction or whatever. But I don't think the first attack should be so short by any means. Like I mentioned, I think that the fact that he came in, destroyed things briefly, and then without just any reason, he just turns around and goes back. And everybody's left wondering, like, why? You know, whatever. But a lot of us were like, he will be back. And indeed, he did come back. But the fact that he came through briefly, destroyed stuff, and then just without reason, just basically guys were saying, you know what? I'm not going to show y'all on what y'all can expect from me. I can do more, trust me. And I could have done more, but I won't. But trust me, when I come back, I'll show you what I can really, really, really do. And to me, that's frightening. And then I think that is perfect for the characterization of Godzilla. Now, let me just touch on this as far as the fan base is concerned. I know the fan base, you know, as far as collectors, people that love the hobby like myself, that love the films, that love the genre, everything. I think a lot of folks sometimes get caught up in the fun of it. And that's what really is more so is about. It's fun. It really is fun. My introduction to the series, like I mentioned, is Godzilla vs. Megalon. Not exactly the most serious entry in the Godzilla film history, but it was more than enough for me to want to learn more about this character. And I think that a lot of folks, whenever you get into the series, especially if you don't introduce yourself with the first film, whatever film that introduces you to Godzilla and wants you to learn more, I implore you, I say to you, please go back and watch the original film, whether it's the Japanese version or Godzilla King of the Monsters. You can't go wrong with both, in my opinion. I think that just to learn more about Godzilla, to learn more, why is this creature here? Why is he a cultural phenomenon? Why is he an icon? Why is he beloved by so many fans all across the world? It starts with this film right here. It starts with this characterization. And it's a really serious, dark interpretation. Long before he fought aliens and before he was, you know, fighting alongside Jaguar, beating up a guy again in Megalon, before he fought Biollante, before he fought Megaguirus, and before Final Wars, before all that, it started with this guy right here. It started with this film. It's just a serious, dark interpretation. It's based off of real life fear that the Japanese people had, or at least the world had, back in the 50s after World War II, which basically means the fear of what we have done to our world and to our environment that can come back and haunt us. You know what I'm saying? They were able to take a real life event, you know, with the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They were able to take a real life serious event, which basically destroyed lots of lives during that time period, and just make it into this great cultural phenomenon in this character of Godzilla. So I think that a lot of folks really should go back and do the research, learn the history, learn why Godzilla is the way he is, why he's so beloved by so many people, and just learn more about the origin or how this character came into being. And of course, it's not going to be everybody. Of course, it may disturb some folks. And you know what? That's fine. But I think to learn more about Godzilla, to really get a full grasp on why we love Godzilla, or why a lot of fans love Godzilla. I'm sure a lot of folks don't really understand. A lot of folks basically just do the common misconception that it's just a guy in a rubber dinosaur suit destroying Toy City, and really that's just a wrong interpretation to have. Godzilla is more than just a guy in a rubber dinosaur suit destroying the Toy City. He's more than that. So if you do your research, especially with this film, you will gain a lot more appreciation of the character and of the films. Even though the film series kind of took a little campy way of doing things when it came to the shore, a little bit of the Heisei, a little bit of the Millennium, just a little bit. But learn more about the history of Godzilla with this film. Watch this film. Watch the Japanese as well as the Americanized version and gain a new appreciation of it. And you understand why us Godzilla fans love this character to death and we can't get enough of it. You know what I'm saying? I think that also that with this Godzilla being the first and the way he just transitioned himself to a lot of different things, I think he's beloved because Godzilla can't be anything that you want him to be. I think Godzilla is, he's like the character in history that whatever position you put him in, he's going to knock it out of the park every single time. And he's been almost everything that you could think of from a character point of view. He's been a symbol. He's been a warning. He's been an evil, destructive force that will come and destroy the city. He's also been an ally that has been coming to defend us from certain threats out there. He's been loved. He's been hated. He's been in reboots. He's been in television. Awesome, great films. He's been a great fighter. He's been a father figure. He's been an anti-hero. He's been a hero. He's been a straight up villain. He's been so many different things and so many different characters. And that's why I think that that's why he's loved so much. That's why I love him so much. That's why I love the character so much, because he embodies so many different wonderful and great things that it never gets old. It's always fresh. That's why I can pop in any Godzilla movie and still be entertained. There are some Godzilla films I don't really care for, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can still pop them in and still be entertained. And I think that is the best compliment that a character like this can ever get. You know what I'm saying? The fact that no matter what you put him through, no matter what characterization you put him in, no matter what story you put him in, he's going to entertain you and knock it out of the park every single time. And I think that's why we love Godzilla so much. But as far as the figure, get it. You would not be disappointed, you know what I'm saying, whether it's the Rip Boy or the Standard. Of course, the Rip Boy has the base, like I mentioned before, and it has more of a better presentation, just a little bit, just a little bit. But on its own, even without the base, he still is an awesome piece. You know what I'm saying? From the texture, the coloring, the train prop right here, the tail, the sculpt, just the stylized look of this figure, and the fact he looks like a straight up evil monster, which basically goes back to the original film. Make this about a piece, and I highly recommend you pick it up. All right, so that basically concludes my review of the X Plus 1954 30cm Godzilla Train Gripper or Train Biter Edition. You have any questions, holler me down in the comment section or hit me up on Facebook, Bill Mark Calloway. We definitely go from there. Check out the Facebook groups I'm about to mention: Toku Legion, Toho Kaiju Union, Sci-Fi Labyrinth, Toy Explosion, Japanese Toy and Figure Services, the Godzilla Collectors Facebook group, and of course, the X Plus Collectors Facebook group, and go to KaijuAddicts.com for all things X Plus. Once again, that's KaijuAddicts.com. Really, get this masterpiece. You will not be disappointed. Get it. It really, 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 really is awesome. It really is a masterpiece. All right. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on next figure and move review. All right? Y'all take it easy.